Here's the secret most people don't even realize. You don't need $1 million sitting in the bank to buy a preschool. I talk to buyers all the time who think ownership is out of reach because they assume they need to pay cash or come up with full purchase price on their own. But the truth is, most deals in this industry are financed, and many first-time buyers are far more qualified than they think. I'm Chelsea Reue, a childcare sales specialist, and today I'm going to walk you through the real numbers behind buying a childcare center. We'll talk about how deals are structured, how much you actually need to bring to the table, and how to know if you're financially ready to own a preschool. Let's start by busting one of the biggest myths. Most buyers do not pay for a childcare business outright. In fact, the majority use a combination of financing tools to make the deal happen. Here's what that typically looks like. A business loan, usually through the SBA, that covers 75 to 90% of the purchase price. A buyer down payment, often in the 10 to 20% range. And occasionally seller financing, where the seller carries part of the purchase price as a note. And working capital. These are the funds you'll set aside to operate the business in the first few months. It's not about having millions in the bank. It's about understanding how deals are built and positioning yourself to qualify. Before you start shopping for preschool, it's important to understand your own financial picture. Here are the key questions to answer early. How much cash do you have available for a down payment? Most lenders want to see 10 to 20% of the purchase price as your investment. What monthly payment can your income support? Your debt service or loan payment should be comfortably covered by the school's cash flow. What earnings level do you need to qualify? Lenders typically look for a debt service cover ratio, or DSCR, of a 1.25 or higher. This means that the school's earnings need to be at least 25% higher than the annual loan payments. Knowing these numbers before you start shopping will save you time and help you focus on schools you can realistically acquire. How SBA loans work. So the SBA 7A loan is the most common financing tool buyers use, and for good reason. It's designed to make business acquisitions more accessible. So here's how it works. The SBA guarantees a portion of the loan, which makes lenders more willing to fund the deal. These loans often cover up to 90% of the purchase price, and sometimes even include working capital and closing costs. So down payments are usually around 10 to 15%. And the repayment terms can stretch up to 10 years, keeping monthly payments way more manageable. Lenders will also consider your background, business experience, leadership skills, and familiarity with childcare or education can definitely strengthen your application, but they're not always required. Just a quick note. Every loan and deal is unique. Financing options, terms, and eligibility will always depend on lender requirements and your individual qualification. The information I'm sharing here is meant to guide you and definitely not professional financial advice. So let's talk about seller financing and creative structures. So not every deal is financed in the same way. Sometimes sellers participate directly in the financing, and that can really work to your advantage. For example, a seller might agree to carry 10 to 15% of the purchase price as a note you pay off over time. That reduces the cash you need up front and can even improve your chances of loan approval. Other creative structures include earnouts, where part of the purchase is paid based on future performance. Or leasebacks, where you purchase the business but lease the real estate from the seller. The point is, there are more ways to make a deal happen than most buyers realize. So let's talk about working capital and the hidden costs. So one thing buyers often overlook is working capital. That is the money you'll need to operate the business after closing. And this might include payroll and benefits, supplies and curriculum, marketing and enrollment growth initiatives, deposits for utilities or licensing renewals, and a good rule of thumb is to set aside 3 to 6 months of operating expenses. This ensures that you're not scrambling for cash during those critical first 90 days. Let's look at some realistic scenarios. So a few real-world examples. Let's look at scenario A. A $1 million preschool business might require just $100,000 to $150,000 down. The rest is covered by SBA financing. Scenario B, a $2.5 million deal that includes both the business and real estate might require a total investment of $300,000 to $400,000. And then we have scenario C. If the seller carries the 10% of the price, your out-of-pocket costs could drop significantly, sometimes below $100,000 for smaller centers. This is why I always tell buyers, don't disqualify yourself before you run the numbers. So how do you improve your buyer profile? Even if you're not quite ready today, there are steps you can take to really strengthen your position. Clean up your personal credit and reduce your debt. Update your resume to highlight leadership, education, or business experience. Start gathering financial documents now: tax returns, bank statements, and net worth statements. The more prepared you are, the faster lenders will move and the more confident sellers feel about working with you. So buying a preschool is not reserved for people with deep pockets. It's about preparation, strategy, and knowing how deals are structured. If you're ready to explore this more deeply, I have a free childcare buyer financing workbook that will walk you through how to calculate a down payment, estimate monthly payments, and evaluate the different deal structures. And if you're actively looking for a center to purchase, make sure you're on my buyer list. It's the best way to get early access to new listings before they ever go public. You can join at go.chelseareue.com/buyer. With the right plan and the right support, owning a childcare business might be far more within reach than you think.